Welcome back for another soul chat. This is our sacred space to pause the hustle for just a minute, to stop scrolling, to stop striving, and stop performing. Just a breath, just long enough to sip your coffee slow and lean into what really matters. We talk a lot around here about living with intention, about seeing beauty in the ordinary. And friend, none of that requires perfection, it just requires presence. So, wherever you are right now, in your car with errands on your mind, folding a mountain of laundry with little hands tugging at your shirt, or sitting on your porch hoping for a little peace, I'm so glad you're here. Let's slow down and lean in together because I believe God is always speaking. We don't always hear it when we're running full speed towards someone else's life. Today's topic, I think, is one that we all wrestle with in the quiet places. I'm going to get real with you. Comparison is sneaky. It doesn't walk in the front door announcing itself. It slips in quietly through a scroll on your phone, a conversation with a friend, a glance at someone else's success. And before you know it, you're no longer rooted in your life. You're tangled in theirs. I'm going to say that again. Comparison. You're no longer rooted in your life. You're tangled in theirs. We start to measure everything. Her home looks cleaner. Her business is growing faster. Her marriage seems happier. Her life seems better. And when you're not careful, that little measuring stick turns into a weapon used against our own hearts. Here's the truth: you can't fully live your story if you're busy reading someone else's. Let me pull the curtain back a little bit on my own life. Comparison has followed me into Comparison has followed me into almost every room I've walked into, especially as a woman in business, a wife, a mom, and a leader in faith spaces. There was a season when I was pouring my heart into my business, creating with love, showing up consistently, serving well. And then I'd open social media and bam, I'd see someone else selling 10 times more kits, getting invited to speak, growing effortlessly. And I'd shrink a little. Even in motherhood, I feel like I was doing okay until I saw another mom's post. You know the one, the matching outfits, perfectly packed lunches, smiling kids, a spotless kitchen in the background. Meanwhile, I was reheating coffee for the third time and scraping crumbs off the couch. I've heard other women speak, powerful, eloquent, full of grace, and I would sit there thinking, why can't I sound like her? Why doesn't it come that easily for me? But here's where God has gently yet firmly reminded me: comparison is not a mirror, it's a magnifying glass for everything you think you lack. And it distracts you from the beauty of what God has placed right in your hands. There's a moment in scripture that hits me right in the heart. It's John 21, verses 21 and 22. Jesus had told Peter about the journey ahead, about how his life would be used for God's glory, but also about the cost. And in Peter, true human fashion, immediately turned around, pointed to John, and asked, Lord, what about him? And Jesus, without skipping a beat, replied, if you want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? You follow me. In other words, his story isn't yours. Keep your eyes on me. That right there is the heart of it. We waste so much time asking, what about her? When God is whispering, I'm writing something specific and sacred in you. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You're not being punished or passed over. You're being crafted slowly, intentionally, and with eternal purpose. So let me ask you this: where is your comparison creeping up? Is it in your business? You're scrolling and thinking she's farther along than me. Is it in your home? Wondering why her house looks like a magazine and yours feels like a tornado. Is it in your friendships? Feeling like everyone has a tribe and you're still waiting to find your people? We all have those places, but the invitation is this: what if instead of looking sideways, you look up? What if you stopped hustling to match her and started resting in him? Here's the truth I've had to learn the hard way: comparison doesn't just make you feel small, it limits you. It stunts your creativity, it silences your voice, it makes you second guess your ideas. It's limiting every single one of those when you compare. It puts pressure on you to create something that isn't even yours. But when you come back to your lane, the one God paved just for you find peace again. You create from a place of alignment, not anxiety. You live from a place of purpose, not pressure. So here's a simple challenge for you this week. I want you to do a comparison detox. That means unmute or unfollow and mute any accounts that stir up insecurity instead of inspiration. How do you do that? Pick up your phone. And this time, your scrolling is going to be intentional. It's not called mindless scrolling for no reason. Pick up your phone and spend 5 minutes. It probably isn't even going to take 5 minutes. It's going to take like 2 minutes. I want you to open up Facebook, wherever you're scrolling: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, any of that. Scroll. If you see someone and you recognize there's anxiety or comparison in that, I want you to hit the unfollow button. Well, but wait, what if they're my best friend? They can still be your best friend. I want you to unfollow and mute any accounts that stir up insecurity instead of inspiration. You got to do it. And then I want you to write a list of your unique strengths, callings, and what you feel like are God-given assignments. And then I want you to spend a full day celebrating your life on purpose. Write in your journal. Speak gratitude out loud. Share a photo that reflects your beauty and creativity, not someone else's. At the end of the day, ask yourself, did I walk in my story today, or was I wishing for someone else's? I want you to know that this is still a journey for me. There are still days that I scroll and feel that anxiety and ache rise up. But when I do, I can pause and say, that's not my story. Mine is unfolding in grace. God's doing something beautiful in me too. You guys, that shift doesn't just silence the comparison, it ignites courage in you. You don't have to be her. You were never meant to be. You have your own voice, your own pace, your own process, and your own sacred calling. Live in it. Live your story. I hope this conversation met you right where you needed it. I want you to remember your dreams matter, your presence matter, and your story matters. The God who crafted your heart is still writing the chapters ahead. So you got to keep showing up with grace, with courage, and with your eyes on Jesus. I'm cheering you on as you keep crafting your life with faith and wonder. Until next time, breathe deep, stay present, and trust the unfolding. I'll see you in the next chat.